Teaching academics to young children is not necessarily a bad thing unless it replaces the child's natural cognitive growth, which occurs during play. Today, we're going to take another look at play, but this time our focus is on physical and cognitive development. While researching play, I came across this book. It is actually written for parents. Although I'm not using it as a source, I loved what the review from Publishers Weekly had to say about this book, and I'd like to share that with you. Authors and child psychologist Hirsch Pasek, Galinkoff, and Iyer joined together to prove that training preschoolers with flashcards and attempting to hurry intellectual development does not pay off. In fact, the authors claim that kids who are pressured from early on to join the academic rat race don't fare any better than children who are allowed to take their time. Actually, it could result in negative or harmful outcomes. Although play has obvious effects on the child's physical development, the physical aspects of play can't be separated from the cognitive. And as we examine these two areas, we are also going to take a look at play and brain research. Research has shown that children can indeed use play to scientifically reason about novel objects in their environment and to test hypotheses about how those objects operate. Studies have demonstrated that when young children are presented with a puzzling new toy, their first instinct is to engage in exploratory play, touching and manipulating parts of the toy to figure out how it works. Recently, the field of education has experienced a push to develop the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math skills that are important to success in the 21st century. According to Gelfer and Perkins, through play with objects like blocks, sand, balls, crayons, and paper, children begin to understand logical scientific thinking, such as the concept of cause and effect. They also practice mathematical skills such as measurement, quantification, classification, counting, ordering, and part-whole relations. Building a child's executive function skills should be a priority in early childhood education. In psychological terminology, the cognitive abilities concerning thought and emotion are known as executive function. They involve a group of related processes, including inhibition of impulses, working memory, and planning. Executive function develops rapidly in childhood, concurrent with the maturation of the prefrontal brain regions, and continues to strengthen into the mid-20s. Early executive function abilities that can be developed through play, especially pretend dramatic play, have been implicated in school readiness, as well as the development of memory, attention, intelligence, morality, and emotional regulation. Moreover, measures of executive function at age 4 have been shown to predict a host of long-term outcomes, including physical health, substance dependence, personal finances, and criminality. Experimental studies have further shown direct effects of pretend play on children's self-regulatory abilities. Such research is contributing to a strong case that building a child's executive function skills should be a priority in early childhood education. Okay, we're going to get a little technical here, but bear with me, this is amazing information. According to Sergio Pellis, a researcher at the University of Lethbridge in Alberta, Canada, the experience of play changes the connection of the neurons at the front end of your brain. And without play, those neurons aren't changed. It is those crucial changes in the prefrontal cortex during childhood that help wire up the brain's executive function control center, discussed in the last slide, which has a critical role in regulating emotions, making plans, and solving problems. So play, Pellis adds, is what prepares a young brain for life, love, and schoolwork. But to produce this sort of brain development, this increase in BDNF, children need to engage in plenty of so-called free play. The brain builds new circuits in the prefrontal cortex to help it navigate these complex social interactions. The next two slides are from a former student, Rabbi Sarah Mighton. They illustrate how the brain builds neural connections from new information to existing information. Sarah does a great job explaining this process.
Learning is physical. What we see going on here is the building of neural connections from new information connecting to existing information. The more connections we make to what we already know, sense, and can do, the more neural connections, the new skills and knowledge build in our brain. Playful learning allows children to notice, wonder, and persist, habits that encourage them to slow down, follow questions, find solutions, and learn from their struggles. The experience of play literally changes those connections of the neurons at the front end of your brain. Those changes are critical to learning and the regulation of emotions, making decisions, and solving problems, including executive functioning. Thanks to Sergio Pellis, a researcher at the University of Lethbridge, for telling us more about how we learn and how the brain develops. But the flip side is also true. Over time, we will lose neural connections we don't use. The brain naturally prunes neural connections in adolescence to make the brain more efficient. Beware of intellectual wastelands in preschool, classrooms where children are not in any way challenged to think or figure things out, including their schedules and problem solving. Learning environments must be challenging for children. Even during free play, teachers need to consider, what do I want the children to learn through this experience? If they don't use it, they will lose it.
Physical play, also known as locomotor play or exercise play, involves physical activity in a playful context, such as kicking, running, jumping, chasing, and climbing. Unfortunately, despite the potential physical and cognitive benefits, it is one of the most endangered forms of play in our schools and society. Recess in schools is disappearing at an alarming rate. Promoting the physical benefits of locomotor play is perhaps more relevant today than at any other time in recent history. Obesity among children is at an all-time high. According to the American Heart Association, approximately 1/3 of American children between the ages of 2 and 19 are overweight or even obese. In addition to practicing gross motor skills, children receive vast health benefits from physical activity, including aerobic endurance, muscle growth, strength, coordination, growth stimulation of major organs, and increased bone mineral content. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention suggests that children aged 6 through 17 should play for 60 minutes a day. For some children who live in urban or unsafe areas, recess may be their only active physical outlet. Studies show that children naturally gravitate to physical play when given the chance, and giving children time to play could contribute to immediate and deferred physical health benefits. Over the past few classes, we have seen the impact of play on all areas of child development, which was one of the course objectives. By providing children with opportunities for rich play experiences, we can help children grow and develop in these areas. Although academics is vital, that's what education's all about, we can't ignore the influence that play elicits for motivated, healthy, and happy children, a productive society, and as a foundation to learning.